Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to a very special edition of the Too Fast podcast, where we'll be looking into the COVID-19 pandemic and some of the solutions and experiences within the African American community, specifically here in the Alabama Black Belt. I would like to thank you all for tuning in, and this is Raymon Shange.
My name is Frank Lee. I'm Emergency Management Director and Director of Homeland Security for Macon County. I am a lifelong resident of Macon County. I attended elementary school on the campus of Tuskegee University, graduated from Tuskegee Institute High School, and graduated from Tuskegee University with both undergraduate and graduate degrees. I've been involved in public service the majority of my life. I got elected to the Macon County Commission at the age of 27 years old, and 9 months later was elected the first elected chairman of the Macon County Commission and the youngest county commission chairman in the state of Alabama. I served as the first Black page in the Alabama Senate in 1974, being appointed by Senator Dudley Perry. Politics has always been in my blood. Public service is always in my blood. Both of my parents were public educators, and I consider that public service. So I guess I got it honestly. I've served in the both state and local and federal governments, working with the Department of Homeland Security before coming home to serve as the director of the Macon County Emergency Management Agency and the director of Homeland Security 4 years ago. It's been a joy to return back to county government. I started in county government as an elected official in 1986, and in 2015 rather, I returned home to take on the responsibility and the job that I hold now.
Thank you. That's a great story of service, and we really appreciate you for joining us on the podcast. What I would like to ask first is, what role does the emergency management play in such a crisis as the COVID pandemic that we're experiencing currently?
Well, the Emergency Management Agency and also the Office of Homeland Security serves a dual role in, number one, protecting our county in the time of a disaster. And this COVID-19 is a disaster. It's probably worse than any natural disaster that we've ever had in this modern day time, simply because this country has never experienced a pandemic like this before. Therefore, there are a lot of things that are being learned as we go, a lot of scientific matters that have been undefined. And our office is to make sure that we mitigate and properly inform our citizens of the dangers of this pandemic and work on ways and solutions to mitigate the problem and lessen the liability and the risk that impact the people of Macon County.
Okay. During this uncertain time and a historical time, what are some of the primary threats and what are some of the steps that our local residents can take in order to protect themselves and their loved ones?
Well, primary steps is the fact it's a pandemic. It impacts us biologically. It has an impact on our immune systems. It also has an impact on our daily lives. It stops the way we normally live. It cuts down socialization. It cuts down interaction, direct communications with people. I mean, it's a disease that's deadly. I mean, it can be spread by all kinds of means. It can be spread, and those means are impacting our citizens. In Macon County currently, right now, we have 21 positive cases that we know of, and I assume we have many more that have not been reported. We've had two fatalities in the county, and we're trying to do our best to kind of flatten the curve and to practice mitigation so we won't have these problems. Education and providing our citizens safety measures they can take in regard to protecting themselves and their families to stop the spread of this deadly virus is one of our main objectives.
Absolutely. So if one of our community members actually thinks that they may be exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19, what are the steps that they should take following such?
Well, basically, we follow the guidance of the Center for Disease Control and the Alabama Department of Public Health. Mainly, they should contact their physician if they have a physician. If they don't have a physician, I would suggest they contact the Macon County Health Department at 334-727-1800. That's 334-727-1800, and talk with a person there that will screen them. They will ask them a series of questions and advise them on steps they can take. If they have a primary physician that's located in the area, I would suggest they call their primary physician and do the same to them. Give them their symptoms, and their primary physician will make a determination on if they should be tested and how they would be tested, and also give them the venue in which the testing will be done.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Frank Lee. Do you have any other final comments for our community?
Well, I just like to encourage everyone to please be vigilant. As I drive and travel throughout the county each day, I find that a lot of people are not taking this pandemic that is deadly very seriously. And a lot of times, we see people socializing, we see people out involved in basketball games and social gatherings and picnics and of the like. And these kinds of things create a very serious threat on our society. People can be walking around with the virus and not even know it. And when you come in close contact with your fellow beings, it creates a problem. Some people with low immune systems, it even creates an even more severe problem. So I would just ask our local citizens to practice social distancing, keep your distance, be guided by the guidances of the Alabama Department of Public Health and CDC. And if you need information and don't have it, you can go to the Macon County Emergency Management Facebook page. We update that page daily, and as information comes out, we provide it to the citizens, or you can call our office at area code 334-724-2626, 334-724-2626, or visit the Alabama Department of Public Health website, along with the Center for Disease Control website in Region 4 in Atlanta. And certainly those resources will provide you information in regard to mitigating the disease, and as we work in Macon County together to flatten the curve.
This podcast is brought to you by Tuskegee University's College of Agriculture, Environment, and Nutrition Sciences, Tuskegee University Cooperative Extension Program, and Anchor FM. We're currently available on many platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Breaker Audio, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, and Radio Public.